WWE and AEW could potentially be in a huge bidding war right now, and the real question is which company is going to walk out with this new signing. We're going to talk about it in today's video, along with a WWE superstar officially retiring. And yes, we are going to talk about WrestleMania 39, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, but it looks like WWE has some plans that have changed when it comes to those World Championship belts, and we're going to talk about that all in today's video, of course, with the timestamps in the description down below. We're going to kick things off with Booker T. He did officially confirm on the Hall of Fame podcast that his in-ring days are likely over. He says, I'm going to tell you right now, I think that was the last time people are going to see me in the ring. At Reality of Wrestling, I'm going to work with my students, but as far as putting my boots on again, that was the last time. And this is actually really interesting news because Booker T, honestly, he looked pretty damn jacked at Royal Rumble. He looked very, very healthy and very good in the ring. This is one of those things where it's like, I typically don't want to see legends wrestling so often, but at the same time, I would not be opposed to seeing one final Booker T segment run. Not a championship reign by any means, but I wouldn't mind seeing him in one final program to push somebody else over, and maybe somebody that could benefit from a feud with Booker T would actually be Baron Corbin. But if Booker T is saying he is retired, then he is retired. Now, you might be wondering, how can WWE pull this off? Well, WWE does have Stand and Deliver. You do have Booker T on commentary. You can easily have a underutilized main roster star move down to NXT and attack Booker T on commentary to set up some sort of match. But guys, none of this is happening because Booker T has already said he is done. He has officially retired, which honestly, Booker T had a hell of a career. He did a lot of great things in WCW and WWE, and right now, Reality of Wrestling is something that is really intriguing to me, just because Booker T is really trying to give back to the new generation of wrestlers, and Reality of Wrestling actually has some pretty decent quality, production quality, and they have some pretty good wrestling in there, and there's a lot of talent in that company who are so new to the business. I think there is definitely a bridge for ROW and NXT. I would like to see WWE do more with them. We talked about that in a previous video, so I'll put a card up there somewhere if you guys want more information on that. Let's talk about Roman Reigns. Oh man, this Roman Reigns stuff is pretty interesting because obviously we got this incredible segment between Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman. And then on the flip side, you also have Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns having a really good storyline. And this is why a lot of fans right now are super intrigued and invested in everything that Roman Reigns does because the storytelling has been so good. Well, if you guys remember, at one point, there was a report that went out that we discussed, and I think it was Wrestling News Co. who had actually dropped the report. But the idea was that WWE was going to split up the tag titles and then the World Championship title as well. And this belief was that Roman Reigns would, in fact, defend the Universal Championship at WrestleMania against The Rock, and then there would be the WWE Championship match that would be contested on night one. And then, WWE may have done a tournament, or they would have done something that ultimately led to Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, or Cody Rhodes competing for that championship. Now, here's the thing that WWE has ultimately decided to do. And this is where things get even more interesting because of the fact that The Rock is not at WrestleMania. Because The Rock is not at WrestleMania, WWE has decided to not split up the titles just yet. So WWE is making it very clear that Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns is for the Undisputed Universal Championship. And I'm just going to say this because I think storytelling-wise, I have pretty much predicted this through and through. I think Cody Rhodes will lose at WrestleMania. I think there's going to be a big redemption storyline for Cody Rhodes. And I think after WrestleMania, perhaps maybe the night after, I don't know, Adam Pearce will probably force Roman Reigns to vacate the WWE Championship. I think at that point, it's ultimately going to lead to Seth Rollins winning that championship belt. And then maybe SummerSlam or 8 months from now, whenever it may be, we're going to see Cody Rhodes continue to work his way up and then win the WWE Championship from Seth Rollins at that pay-per-view. So I do think WWE is in the right for doing this as the Undisputed Universal Championship. I do think WWE needs to split up those titles. But right now, the storytelling is so strong. I want to see more. I don't think I'm ready just yet. And that's kind of my reasoning for that. So my prediction is in the long term, Cody eventually ends up with the World Championship, but the storytelling, the emotion, all of the character layers that he has, it is going to be so far more beneficial to the WWE to actually have him lose at WrestleMania. And this way, Roman Reigns, whether he is stripped of the belt or whatever it may be, Roman Reigns will have a very, very lengthy reign, and it's fine, right? Roman Reigns could keep holding the belt on SmackDown. More people will be tuning in to watch Raw and watch Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins and whoever might be holding that championship belt. There's a lot of opportunities there for WWE. That is definitely exciting, but nonetheless, WWE is in fact planning on splitting the titles, but that is not something that is happening by WrestleMania. Now, obviously, things can change, but just kind of keep that in mind for those who, maybe remember watching that old video saying, well, what happened to the title splitting up? WWE still very well wants to plan a title split. USA Network wants it, but of course, WWE is just in a very tricky spot because they have a masterful storyline going on. Guys, let's talk about Mandy Rose. Is she returning to WWE? Is she going to AEW? This is a very good question. Now, with WWE in this particular situation, I think they could have regretted absolutely everything that happened that went down with Mandy Rose, and here's why. So there's been tons of rumors floating around that AEW reportedly reached out to Mandy Rose after her release, and then with those rumors and those reports that came out, there was even more that suggested WWE caught wind of this and they don't want Mandy Rose going to AEW, so therefore they're going to possibly bring back Mandy Rose. Now, Mandy Rose actually said publicly on the Sessions podcast with Renee Paquette, when she was asked about her wrestling future, especially when it comes to AEW, Mandy Rose actually made it very clear that she would love to reunite with Paige or Saraya. So she actually says, oh, that would be nice to reunite with her. Oh my God, I could reunite with Dustin Rhodes too. I have a few little old schools that we could reunite. I haven't ruled it out for sure. It's not like the boots are hung up and stuff. It's not like that right now, but it's not my main focus just right now. It's not my main focus, but definitely for the future, maybe we'll see. So now Mandy Rose is publicly talking about her options. Obviously, AEW could be in the mix. If WWE is in a situation right now where they want to bring Mandy Rose in, because of AEW and Impact Wrestling reportedly having interest, there is going to be a scenario where WWE has to offer something really good to Mandy Rose. And I think this is where Triple H has to step in. All right, Triple H has to step in. If he wants to bring back Mandy Rose, you got to bring Toxic Attraction together. You got to have them on the main roster. And yes, you do got to put them in a major storyline. I think that would be a really good way to right the wrongs. And Mandy Rose needs to get paid a lot. And that is something that is going to be very intriguing to see in a bidding war with AEW. How much does AEW value Mandy Rose, who's never wrestled for them? And how much does WWE value Mandy Rose after releasing her, despite knowing that they probably shouldn't have? And this is where having multiple large companies is really beneficial. This is why I say AEW and WWE should exist and why both of these companies should be successful, because at the end of the day, it's going to lead to more talent getting paid and, of course, more options for free agents. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.